Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface. Okay, so this video was actually going to come out tomorrow, but then I decided, look, you've been saddled with 2-minute videos for a number of days now. Today you're getting half an hour of Az. Okay? Half an hour of me. How can you complain? Well, about 25, 26 minutes, but who's counting? Anywho, this is the start of the Battlefield Barrens storyline. So I've taken a quest from Lore Walker Cho, gone into the teleporter, which took me to Ratchet, and now I'm heading off to find a couple of Alliance spies, which are literally stationed right outside the front of Orgrimmar. This is really, really setting things up for patch 5.4. Now, if you watched my video earlier today about the scenarios, and I'll do videos on all of them, are so weak, it's heartbreaking. Because the anticipation of what's been built up for 5.4 was looking so good. And in one of the comments which I made about the scenario, I said I don't mind storytelling. I love storytelling. In actual fact, I love storytelling more than I love lore, if you can understand what I'm trying to say there. You know, it doesn't have to be oodles and oodles of lore. It just has to be good storytelling for me, and I'm there. And I'm finding that stuff like Battlefield Barrens provides oodles, I mean beyond oodles, of better storytelling than any of these scenarios. Because it just gives me, as a player, time to be a little bit more explorative and just to have a general look around and get a general feel for what is going on and what is being done around me, as opposed to being bottlenecked into a scenario which feels so forced and so laboured, and the mechanics are so weak, and it's just... So, once I've met up with the... That is a technical term, by the way. So once I've met up with the two spies, I've gone into machine to take control of a kitty cat, because nobody expects nobody expects the kitty cat. And I'm going around outside of the Orgrimmar and outside into the Kor'kron base to get a few things, release a couple of people, nick some plans. Where am I hiding these plans, though? I have to ask. I'm a little kitty cat. I'm a green kitty cat because there's a fire and brimstone bug. That's the only reason why I'm green. So what is this cat just like running around with plans in its mouth? Big scrolls coming out of its gob. And the Kor'kron are just like, well, what's a cat going to do with our top secret plans? Yeah, I'll leave it be. And then the other Kor'kron guard says, why are you speaking in an English accent? And it's like, oh, well, forgive me for being educated. And, you know, something like that. But I found them all. I found all the pieces of the plans for what's going to happen. You know, it doesn't help Garrosh if you name plans like Operation Kill All the Trolls. It kind of gives it away straight in advance. So I've handed that in, and it's going to take me now to just outside of Razor Hill. There was speculation that either Razor Hill or the Crossroads was going to be converted into a neutral sanctuary quest hub for patch 5.3. That's not going to be the case. We're going to be situated and stationed just outside of Razor Hill. Just outside, not too far away. But it's not going to interfere with any of the Orc questing lines or anything like that whatsoever. The Horde, your questing stories are being left. You're fine. Don't worry. We're not interfering as part of the Alliance at all. So we've met up with the Ambassador, and she's going to take us through to Vol'jin. Now, Hordes again, don't fret. I'm just showing things from the Alliance side. Then I'll switch my character back over to Horde, and we'll see everything from the Horde point of view. I just think, as an Alliance member, and I think Hordes will kind of appreciate where I'm coming from here, it's a lot more interesting to see how the storyline develops when you're the opposing faction helping out. Because this is, you know, Vol'jin has pulled the Darkspear Troll out of the Horde completely. They're gone. And he's making absolutely no bones about it. Orgrimmar is being besieged. And he's going to take it. So he's going to take it by land. He's looking for the Alliance to attack it by sea. That's where we get some of the Battle on the High Seas scenario, which you'll see in days come by. So that said, it's taken us all the way through to this lovely little outpost outside of Razor Hill where Vol'jin is stationed. So this area is a sanctuary area. So Horde can't attack Alliance, Alliance can't attack Horde, etc, etc. Once you get out of a certain radius, I don't know exactly what the radius is, the game hasn't said so, then it'll be game on again and everyone can attack everybody. So here we go, official Battlefield Barrens quest. And that was to bring 15 of each of the resources to Vol'jin. And if you've seen my previous Battlefield Barrens videos, then you'll realise that I did a lot of escorting of caravans and they drop resources and so on and so forth. So completing that has opened up a couple more quests for us. And look who's in the background. Chen Stormstout has decided to come down here as well. Now he's going to ask us to go back to Pandaria to complete a storyline there, and that will be in its own video. That will probably be coming out tomorrow, because I think we're going to do 2 more vids tomorrow. Another scenario for us all to cry over, and then that one in the evening to make us feel a little bit better. And then we have another Battlefield Barrens quest, which is to get 150 as opposed to 15 of all the resources. Now I imagine this quest is going to be a weekly one. And that mojo, which you get as reward, you can use to convert any of those epic pieces of gear which drop from the Kor'kron trash. And when I complete the quest, we'll have a look-see. Maybe, we shall see. So the resources are broken up into 3 different separate areas. We've got one for the meat, one for the oil, and one for the lumber. And I really do appreciate that. Why? Because if you were attacking mobs and just getting random resources, you could find that you get one way ahead of any of the others. So you could find that you've got 10 times more oil than you've got lumber, and it's lumber that you want to complete the quest. This way, you control the resources fully on how you farm them. So I can literally come here to the oil field, farm these mobs, get as much oil as I need, then move on to the meat, then move on to the lumber. I control which resource I get, and I do like that an awful lot. So why am I showing you just attacking regular mobs to pick up oil? It's going to be pretty apparent that I'm going to get some from them. There has been another major change in patch 5.3, and this, if you follow me on Twitter, you'd know already. If you don't follow me on Twitter or Facebook, you're missing out on some little things which I don't get to put on my channel, you know. So get on there, subscribe, like. Here we go. Lesser charms of good fortune. Yeah, lesser charms of good fortune are now going to drop from trash as well. So you don't have to do oodles and oodles of dailies in which to earn them. And thank God, because if I have to do one more bloody daily, I think I'm done. I really do. It's driving me insane. And there aren't any dailies to do in Battlefield Barrens at all. This is a non-daily thing. In actual fact, this feels like it's only a 1-turn weekly quest. But anywho, I'll get back to the lesser charms of good fortune a little later on, because there's something else you need to know about them. Remember this chappie, the overburdened labourer. I did a video on him saying, what does he do? Why is he here? Well, now it's quite apparent that we need to get resources. It looks like his role within this game, so to speak, is going to become a lot more clear. He still has 3.1 odd million health, so he's not somebody that can be burnt down particularly quickly. And with all the other mobs around, don't panic too much, because they do tend to burn down. They've only got between 400,000 to 900,000 health. So if you do get attacked by a big mob, as long as you have some modicum of AoE, you should be fine. Now, the only criticism I have on this guy is when he dies, I was hoping we were going to loot his rucksack. Because when I previously looked at him, it just disappeared upon dying, and it still does. But when we loot him now, his role becomes very clear. So once I loot him, he's going to have a large quantity of a specific resource. So in this case, he actually had 10 bits of lumber on him. Bearing in mind that when you kill a trash, it normally just has 1 to 2 pieces of resource. So 10 is 5 times as many, possibly up to 10 times as many as previously had. So I've spent my time in the oil field. I'm going to go back to it later on. I've now moved off to the other base camp. This is the one with all the wargs. So It's not going to take the brain of Britain to work out if you've just got a load of wargs here, we're going to be farming meat. So again, the best way to do this, the most efficient way that I can see to do this, is just get a big gang together. They don't tend to hit massively hard, and I can't see any class, especially with me having cloth on, I can't see any class not being able to cope with having, maybe rogues, maybe having about 5 or 6 mobs on them at any one time. But loot them and you get yourselves nice bits of meat. But it's those lesser charms of good fortune. Oh my goodness. Now before I move on, just something nice I want to show you. This is my current title, Darkspear Revolutionary Asbats. I got that through joining Battlefield Barrens. That's what you get as a reward for helping out Vol'jin. I think it's a really, really cool title. So kudos, Blizz, for just doing something silly like that. Now I've moved further to the west, and this time we're going higher up in the Barrens. This is literally in the mountains, and this is the area, as you can clearly see, where we're going to be getting the lumber. Now I want to go back to the lesser charms of good fortune just very quickly, because it's not just the Battlefield Barrens trash which are dropping them, okay? All the rare elites on Pandaria mainland itself, possibly even on the Isle of Thunder, but definitely in Pandaria itself, will drop 2 lesser charms of good fortune by killing them. That gives you a great excuse to get back out into Pandaria and farm rare elites. Remember, you can get yourself some really funky trinkets from them. When I say trinkets, I don't mean literal trinkets, I mean items. Some decent gold, a blue item which you can either sell for money or DE or whatever you want to do with it. So it's all pretty cool. Remember, you can also get random resources from the caravans. So if you're sick of just going to one area and farming it to death, go break away from that, escort a few caravans and get yourself some random supplies. Supplies! There you go, there's a random supplies for you right there. My god, the Chinese are going to absolutely hate me if they watch this video, aren't they? I'm sorry. But yeah, so that's a good way to get some random supplies if you're a bit bored with just bottlenecking yourself. Otherwise, you've got your 3 set areas. So I'm going to hand in this quest, get myself the Radical Mojo. Now, there is a Quartermaster just there to my left, but we'll look at what they've got to sell in another vid. I'm going to use this Radical Mojo to combine with one of the epic bits of gear which I found from the Corcron trash. So I think I'm going to do it on the helmet, because the helmets always look pretty darn cool. So just right click onto the helmet, it registers that you've got the Radical Mojo in your inventory, creates this piece of gear, and it looks like, well, it looks like you're going to have to wait until tomorrow's video to find out. Put that down, that's looking sharp. So hope you enjoyed the vid. Please do like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Stop looking at me like that. Follow me on Twitter and like my Facebook, and that language is filthy. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. Yes, I am a git. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.